How's it going, everybody? It's Prod here, and welcome back to another Q&A video. At this point, basically like a monthly series. So, like always, if you have questions you would like to ask me, personal questions about different games, Dark Souls, feel free to go ahead and leave that as a comment on this video, and I'll probably answer it next time. So I do have a couple questions here for you guys. Let's go ahead and start it off with one of the questions that I do get asked the most, which is how long do you think Dark Souls 1 Remastered content will last on YouTube, given that technically it's been experienced before? Obviously not exactly in that wording, but how long will that game last? Do you think it's going to be popular on YouTube? Would it be a good idea for me to start a channel on Dark Souls Remastered? But it's going to be a little bit interesting to see. It's true, we have experienced Dark Souls 1 basically for many years. A lot of people got very popular off of it. You still see some of those guys around today, like Peeve and Ouroboros. Two of these guys were around in those Dark Souls 1 days, but I do still feel like it was kind of one of those games that didn't have a giant following, except for a couple videos getting really big. I feel like over time the series has grown. At least this is what I think. Dark Souls did reach its peak popularity with Dark Souls 3, being that it was the last one in the series. We got a lot of new people coming in here, not only to watch videos on YouTube, but as well playing it. So now when you have Dark Souls Remastered, you have all these new people who maybe have never played Dark Souls 1 in the past, and maybe jumped into the series with Dark Souls 3, or maybe even Bloodborne. You're going to have all these new people coming into Dark Souls Remastered because they're definitely going to see, they're going to look up, oh, maybe I wonder if this game is interesting. It is Dark Souls. I enjoy Dark Souls 3. I enjoy Bloodborne. Oh, Dark Souls 1 is considered to be the greatest in the series. So, yeah, I'll probably go ahead and check it out. I do think that Dark Souls 1 is going to be the biggest game in the series so far. Dark Souls 1 Remastered. I do think it will be the biggest game with the biggest following on YouTube. You got all the new faces from Dark Souls 3 and Bloodborne, and you got the old guys possibly coming back to try this one out. So I feel like this has the potential to be the biggest game so far. But that honestly depends on one thing: if it's a good remaster. That's basically the only thing that matters. If we play this thing and it's terribly optimized, I'm not expecting, crazy improvements, because basically what I'm expecting at the moment is the PC version, except on console, except for Switch. I don't know what the hell Switch is. Switch is getting the Xbox 360 version. But I really don't care about the graphics. What I care about is actually having a player base, people to actually invade and do PvP with. That's what I'm most excited about, because I never really got to experience that for myself personally. So again, I am one of those newer people that did start with Dark Souls 2 and is hopping into Dark Souls 1 PvP for the first time. We're going to find out very soon with the network test that is coming out. Once those details do get announced, I will be making a video on it. If you haven't already heard what this network test is, I'll go ahead and just talk about it a little bit. But basically, they are going to be doing a network test very soon, where people are going to get to play the game early ahead of the actual release to obviously test the servers and stuff, test how many people are actually going to be jumping on and how they can handle it. They're going to be doing it on everything except PC, so once those details do come out, I will go ahead and make a video on it. Next up, planning on playing Dark Souls 1 PvP before the remaster comes out? No, I definitely will not be doing anything Dark Souls 1 related until the remastered comes out. I know I'll probably get matched up with people because, again, the resurgence of the remaster, the hype for that, there's probably people who went back and started playing it again. But I really do want to experience it. The best graphics that it can possibly have, which is probably going to be in the remaster. 60 frames per second, decent connection, at least in the arena, if we still are getting dedicated servers in the arena. And even when it comes to the PvE, I don't think I'll be touching that game until it comes out. And we're not too far off now. It's still quite a while and it feels like a long ass time, but only about 2.5 months to go at this point. When do you think they will announce FromSoftware's new game? We've been getting little snippets of this thing, a couple of announcements, specifically the one that they said that they are going to be announcing something within the next 12 months, and I believe that was at the beginning of the year, like in January, so for sure, at least we're getting an announcement this year. Hopefully it comes out this year, man. I don't know. I really don't think it's going to come out this year. I think we're getting Dark Souls Remastered this year, and then next year, I'm like 99% sure we'll see it around April or even late March. E3 is our best possibility that we're going to get like an actual trailer that's not a teaser. So expect something at E3. And man, I'm pretty excited. I'm definitely going to be doing more reaction videos to E3, maybe even streaming the event with a face cam and everything so you guys can watch it together with me. I think that could be a lot of fun, so I'm definitely looking forward to that. And it's only about 2 months away, I think. Is it in June? So it's like 2.5, 3 months away. Will you play Monster Hunter World after Dark Souls Remastered comes out? Now this is kind of a tough one. Even at this point where we're at now with Monster Hunter World, I still very much enjoy the game whenever I do play it. I haven't played it as often now because I just really don't know what to do with the game. I guess grinding is just about the only thing that I can do. I'm not too high in Hunter rank. I know that I could get out there to like 100 or something like that. But I'm more interested in like new stuff, you know, new monsters, new events. That's why I always go on and try to do the new weekly events and then upload those videos. As long as they keep updating the game and maybe they release a new monster every month or something like that. I know the new monster is coming out here, I believe on the 22nd, Devil Joe or Devil Jiho or something like that. So it really just does depend on if we do keep getting updates on the game consistently, then yeah, you will probably see a video from that game every now and then after the remaster. Plan on doing Adventures of the Worst Invader in Dark Souls Remastered, or will you just be focusing on Arena again? Now, Adventures of the Worst Invader did kind of turn into something I didn't expect. The first one was kind of going to be a one-off thing. Because I know that I'm pretty bad at invasions, you don't really have to tell me about that. Since my channel always mainly did focus on the arena, 1v1 duels, moving over to invasions was a little bit weird, and I'm glad that at this point people do enjoy it and they do well. And it's about all I enjoy when it comes to Dark Souls 3 because I've kind of burnt myself out of the arena. Even at this point, you know, like I could only really stand like maybe an hour or two of the arena every couple days because it's just way too boring for me. But now with Dark Souls 1 coming out here, a new experience when it comes to the arena, you know, weapons I've never used before, and this new series that I did start that is going to be more true than ever for the remaster, considering I never played PvP on it. So when I say Adventures of the Worst Invader, it's going to be 100% true. Some people might say, oh, you know, I'm the worst invader on Dark Souls 3. You're pretty decent at the game, you know, you shouldn't be called the worst invader. Boy, that's just gonna be true. It's gonna be so true on Dark Souls 1. I'm almost afraid of what's gonna happen. My channel might die just because I'm gonna be so shit for a good period of time. Hopefully I get a hang of it fairly quickly, but it's new mechanics, new PvP, new weapons. I'm super excited for it because it's something completely new for me. It's basically like a new Dark Souls experience for me. But yes, I will continue to do that. I'm not going to only focus on the arena. It's going to be a nice balance of those two. Now this is kind of like an interesting question that I kind of thought of myself as well. What do you think of a Dark Souls Battle Royale? So, Battle Royale, the craze of the gaming community at the moment with PUBG, Fortnite, you have a couple other ones coming out like Darwin Project, and more likely than not, there's some AAA ones that are going to be coming out soon from developers like Activision, the Call of Duty series, Battlefield. But a Battle Royale set with Dark Souls mechanics in the Dark Souls universe, maybe not lore-wise that it would matter, but you know, with the fighting mechanics that we have in this game, I think it would be pretty goddamn awesome. I gotta say, some people probably don't like the series because it's the mainstream thing, you know, it's Battle Royale. Oh, I hate Battle Royale. I only like click and point adventures set in the West 1920s. There's people like that. I'm not one of those people because I think that would be fucking awesome. And I actually kind of did want to do an experiment because we could do that now. Battle Royale with Dark Souls mechanics, it could be done now. For example, let's just say I hosted a game, live streamed it, cleared out all the enemies, hid weapons, shields, armor, rings all over Anor Londo, and then just summon people and then have them fight it out. See who comes out on top. That could be interesting, but the problem with that is, well, you can only summon like 6 people. So imagine, let's say 50 with something like that. I think it could work. It would be weird. I mean, this game could barely handle 3 people joining in at once, so I don't see it ever happening. No, it won't ever happen, but I think it would be cool, and I would personally like it very much, and that one interests me, so definitely let me know what you think about that one specifically. Do you think that would be cool? Would you play it? Because I think I would play the shit out of that, like maybe another game type in the arena or something. What would you say is the most underrated weapon in Dark Souls 3? An underrated weapon, it would have to be good, you know, something people use. but not too often. One that I've actually kind of been thinking about that was actually pretty underrated and not a lot of people use is the Drakeblood Greatsword. Because I would say on its own, it's kind of average, it's pretty normal. But if you put Lightning Blade on that thing, I gotta say, that thing is kind of a monster. I would say that is one of the most underrated weapons, and off the top of my head, I would say that's an underrated weapon. Maybe one of the most underrated weapon? It's hard to pinpoint one specific one because people are going to have different opinions. With or without a buff is also a thing. If it needs Dark Blade, would it really be underrated since Dark Blade or Dark Moon Blade or Lightning Blade can make damn near everything good? You know what's really good and underrated just because it's really a rare drop? The Harp. You know, the little curved dagger? That thing is pretty interesting, especially the dark version that you get in the DLC. If you infuse that thing, or excuse me, if you buff it with Dark Blade, it's kind of a monster. I don't know if you guys have ever tried that. I think I made a video or two on it. You can check it out. It actually does really good damage, really fast, and it has quick stepping, which unless you're running into a straight sword, is pretty damn good in Dark Souls 3. Will you be uploading more Bloodborne videos and doing more Bloodborne streams? And do you plan on doing any PvE? I have done a couple of Bloodborne streams at this point. I think I've done 3, like one full just Bloodborne dedicated stream and a couple other ones where I've played for like 2 hours and stuff. But I do plan on doing more on that game. We do see more activity on it, especially with it being free and the DLC only being like, what, $5? I definitely will be doing more PvP on that game. I don't know how much PvE I'll be doing. At least on one character trying to get through the game, I will be doing PvP on a couple bosses. But as the next couple months happen, I will be doing more PvP on that game, streaming it especially. A couple nice long streams are definitely in order for this game, trying to get better, because it is super odd to play it, personally, because it's so different from Dark Souls 3 and any of the other Souls games PvP. So definitely be sure to follow me on Twitch so you guys don't miss that, because it actually has been pretty fun. I've enjoyed the couple times that I have played it. It's a little bit dead, you know, still getting up in those higher areas. But within the next month, we will see more activity on it as people continue progressing in the game. Do you think there will be any Dark Souls characters in the new Smash game, and who would you want to see? So yeah, obviously, Dark Souls is going to be on the Nintendo Switch. And by the way, another question that I did get asked is if I'm going to get a Switch for Dark Souls Remastered. I'm not entirely sure at the moment. Again, it depends if we get the freaking Xbox 360. We're going to get a PS2 version on the Switch, so I'm not entirely sure. It would be cool to throw some noobs that have never even heard of the series. It could be interesting, so there's definitely the possibility to do that, and I've always wanted to play the new Zelda game and new Mario game, so when the time comes, I'll be sure to let you guys know. But when it comes to Super Smash Bros., they did announce it. They do have a Solaire amiibo, but I don't think Solaire would be in the game. If anybody was going to be in the game, I think it would be 2 characters specifically that come to mind. That would be Artorias or Sif. Those are really the only 2 that I can think of that are like very interesting and have interesting moves. I think my #1 pick of who I think would be in that game would be Sif. He's this massive fluffy dog that's really loyal, has this giant sword in its mouth, has really cool moves, and he's a great mascot for the Dark Souls series. But to be honest, no, I don't think there's going to be a Dark Souls character in the new Smash Brothers. But if there was, I would most likely say it would be Sif. Sif the Big Rat. Either way, that is going to be it for today's Q&A video, everybody. I hope you guys did enjoy it. If you made it this far, thank you very much for that, and leave a like. It helps out the channel a bunch, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Peace, everybody.